G'day again from sunny Glengarry County. I'm Fred Cappuccino, and today's story is from that phenomenal, mind-boggling book, Bonnie and Her 21 Children. Our sixth child, Michael Scott Cappuccino, arrived in 1959. He was named for the Reverend Michael Scott, an Anglican clergyman from England who was at the United Nations speaking unofficially for the tribes of Southwest Africa. The U.S. government confined this priest to a few blocks radius of the United Nations because of his radical philosophy. His philosophy was freedom for all people. Reverend Scott also led a nonviolent protest against French nuclear testing in Africa. 4 years earlier, Bonnie had written to 103 adoption agencies near Chicago seeking an adoptive child. No results at all from 103 agencies. Then, after 4 years, we got a letter. Our records show that you have one child and wish to adopt a second one, possibly of mixed race. Mrs. Isabel Scheffner, Director of Adoption Services in Aurora, Illinois, wanted a good home for a 9-month-old baby. His skin was very light, but now they were thinking he might have some black genes mixed in. Apparently, as his hair grew in, it became tightly curled, and as the summer progressed, he had become a little darker, and the adoptive family were not prepared for a black child. It was September, and sounded to Bonnie like a suntan, but she didn't say anything. Mrs. Scheffner asked us to give it some careful thought, to think it through, and to let her know later on. Bonnie and I thought about it. We sat down and considered all the aspects and all the pros and cons. That took 13 minutes and 17 seconds. Bonnie called her back and said we'd dearly like to have him. It became clear that, as it says in the book of Matthew, "For unto everyone that hath, more shall be given." Acquiring children is like acquiring money. If you have lots, it's easier to get more. At the foster home, there was Michael on the living room floor, vigorously working with his toys. He was ignoring people and doing things. Now it was toys, later it would be hammers and tools, then cars, then computers. We named him Michael Scott, as I mentioned. We were staying at that particular day with Bonnie's folks overnight, and when we arrived, our 5 other children were surprised when I opened my overcoat and there was their new brother, Michael. He was a unique child. He had the ability to fix things. If there's something wrong with the tractor, he could fix it. When the baler wasn't working, he could fix it. He's now in charge of information technology for a hotel chain. And one other little incident, this is in the author's note at the beginning of the magnificent book aforementioned. Bonnie McClung Cappuccino, to whom I have been married, these 62 years, is exceedingly focused. She doesn't waste a minute. When she stops at a red light, she takes the opportunity to do stuff, like rooting down into her purse. She does not look at the light. One day I said, "Bonnie, you're supposed to watch the green arrow." She paused, looked at me, and taking her time said, "Relax, Fred. There is always some kind gentleman who will beep to let me know the light has changed." So there you are. Now the song is one that Pete Seeger sings. You know that In the old days, the black people had to go to the back of the bus and sit down, and white people came and sat in the front of the bus, and this song is about that. It's no longer that way, but there is still a lot of work to do to get rid of racial prejudice in North America. If you miss me at the back of the bus, you can't find me no more. Just come on up to the front of the bus. I'll be riding up there. I'll be riding up there. I'll be riding up there. Just come on up to the front of the bus. I'll be riding up there. If you miss me at the swimming hole, you can't find me nowhere. Just come on up to the city pool. I'll be swimming over there. I'll be swimming over there. I'll be swimming over there. Just come on over to the city pool. I'll be swimming over there. Thank you. See you next time.